Public support for trans women in sports dropped 20% in 5 years, not because facts changed, but because messaging did. In 2019, roughly 55% of Americans supported transgender women competing in women's sports. By 2024, that number dropped to around 35%. What makes this surprising isn't the shift itself, it's that nothing fundamental changed. No new scientific studies emerged proving athletic advantage was worse than previously thought. No major incidents dominated headlines. The biological facts remained identical. Yet across age groups, education levels, and even some traditionally progressive demographics, support collapsed. This wasn't a response to new evidence. It was a response to new narratives. And understanding why reveals something crucial about how public opinion actually moves in the modern world. Here's what happened psychologically. Before 2019, the conversation centered on identity and inclusion, but starting around 2020, a deliberate narrative shift occurred. The framing changed from transgender rights to female athlete safety. That single reframing triggered something primal in how people process the issue. When you activate a threat response, especially one involving the safety of a vulnerable group, people stop thinking analytically. They think tribally. Suddenly, this wasn't an abstract identity question anymore. It was about protecting our girls from unfair competition or potential harm. Consider what happened with the case of Leah Thomas, a swimmer who competed at elite levels before her story broke. Support for trans athletes in women's sports was relatively stable across political lines. But the moment her participation became national news framed through a threat to female athletes' lens, conservative voters' opposition spiked dramatically. The data didn't change, her athletic records were the same whether people knew about them or not. What changed was the emotional frame. Political messaging didn't invent this concern out of nowhere, but it strategically amplified and weaponized it. By centering female athlete safety rather than identity inclusion, they activated defensive group psychology. When your in-group feels threatened, you don't debate nuance. You pick a side and defend it fiercely. Here's what research on belief perseverance reveals. When your identity is tied to a position, facts don't persuade you, they polarize you. This is called the backfire effect. And it happens because your brain isn't designed to process information neutrally. It's designed to protect your tribe. Let's look at the actual science. Multiple peer-reviewed studies exist on transgender women's athletic advantage. Some show measurable performance differences persist after hormone therapy. Others show advantages diminish significantly over time. Same topic, contradictory conclusions. Both legitimate research. But here's what matters. A conservative voter encountering the first study thinks, see, this proves the threat is real. A progressive voter encountering the second study thinks, see, inclusion is safe. Neither person changed their mind. Both used the same evidence to reinforce what they already believed. This isn't stupidity. It's how human cognition works under identity threat. Your brain categorizes information as either supporting your group's narrative or attacking it. When facts land in the attack category, you don't weigh them fairly. You scrutinize them harder, find flaws faster, and dismiss them more easily. The takeaway: facts alone cannot move opinion when group identity is activated. You need permission from your tribe first. Here's what's fascinating: the messenger matters more than the message. When researchers tracked opinion shifts on this issue, they found something counterintuitive. People didn't change their minds because new athletic data emerged or because they had a personal experience with a trans athlete. They changed their minds because trusted voices in their political tribe started saying something different. A conservative news outlet runs a segment, a politician makes a statement, and suddenly the talking point spreads. Within weeks, that framing becomes the default lens through which people view the entire issue. The research showed that political affiliation became the strongest predictor of opinion change, stronger than education, stronger than personal experience with athletes, even stronger than understanding the actual science. A person's stance shifted based on which voices they trusted, not based on facts. This explains why the same study gets cited as proof by one side and dismissed as flawed by the other. It's not about the evidence. It's about who's delivering the narrative. When your in-group authority figures adopt a new framing, your brain treats it as social information, not just factual information. You follow because belonging matters more than being right. Here's what this tells you: public opinion doesn't shift because new facts arrive. It shifts because trusted voices reframe the narrative in ways that align with group identity. The trans athletes debate wasn't won by better science, it was won by messaging. Understanding this matters because it's how every major opinion change happens now. Don't chase facts, chase the frame. That's where minds actually move.